Before I start the video, I would like to thank today's sponsor, Amino. Amino is an app that allows you to spread your passion and interests with members of any community you could think of. And of course, my community of choice is the TF2 Amino, which is currently one of the fastest growing TF2 online communities with tens of thousands of members and more joining every day. And it's for a good reason, as it offers many amazing things, from being able to vote on polls about certain subjects to the crazy amount of amazing fan art. Now recently I've broken my USB with all my memes on it, so I'd like to ask you guys to post your best memes on my Amino profile. I will be responding to all the memes I see and showing the best ones on my next video. To participate in this, click either the link I provided in the description of this video or the one in the pinned comment below. Once you're on Amino, make sure to search TF2 and join, and then search for my profile, which is just Ice Blocks. Bonus points for any original memes. Anyways, let's get into the video. Hey guys, Roblox here, and today we're going to be talking about a game mode which hasn't been getting much love lately, MvM. Man vs. Machine was released on August 13th, 2012 and was a fresh take on TF2, bringing a brand new meta and objective, though as the years have gone by it hasn't been seeing any content besides the amazing community made events, which is a shame as this is an amazing game mode that should be getting the new content it deserves. As an update is heavily needed because of how people are only playing two cities at this point, and that anything without an update for 5 years would get repetitive and stale. So let's open the discussion of what a new MvM update could possibly be about and when it would come out. First off, I would like to showcase a really good community made update called Iron Gauntlet Power Surge. That would be amazing to have as an MvM update because it showcases an impressive number of 70 different unique ideas, which all relates to MvM and could very well be its own tour. So if you want to look at other great MvM ideas, this is a great place to start. Otherwise, I have some other ideas of my own for what to do in a future MvM update. Let's start off with some new mechanics for MvM which I think would positively add to the meta, first of which being a power-up canteen change. Currently, in its state, it is perfectly fine, but it could be better. So let's make it able to contain more than one specific power-up at once. For example, have 2 crits and 1 ammo canteen. It also could possibly be a canteen upgrade, which leads to my next thing, canteen upgrades. Medic already slightly has canteen upgrades, but let's expand the upgrades to all classes. Those upgrades being multiple different power-ups at one time, the amount of power-ups, and etc. If canteen upgrades seem to be overpowered, how about different canteen modes that grants different effects to power-ups? For example, the length mode would increase the length of any power-up that has a timer on it, and so on. So that way you can't buff every part of the canteen, but instead have to make a smart decision for what specific situation you're in. The second mechanic I think could be implemented is in the form of a spy buff, which allows spy to sap tanks for a limited amount of time, as tanks are annoying to deal with. Spy is okay in MvM currently, but is underused, and all the other classes are just overall more useful. So I think giving Spy this mechanic would make him more sought out for in certain maps where tanks are annoying to deal with. Now let's move on to the new batch of robots that I would like to see in a future MvM update. Now the first bot I would like to see in the MvM update is the Dragon Fury PYRO. It would be a standard Pyro bot with the Dragon's Fury, I know, I am very creative, and the Gas Passer Pyro, which would enable fire damage and increased damage intake in the area it lands, which that area will be marked beforehand to give you a rough idea where not to be. The Vaccinator Medic would on spawn determine its resistance type, and the first medic to heal a target would be the dominant resistance type, to prevent resistance stacking, as if you had to play against that, I wouldn't blame you for smashing your computer. The classic sniper, basically just a new variation of the normal sniper bots, except they can move when charging up their scope. And the cleaner's carbine sniper. Damage will start off as normal but will ramp up whenever the meter gets full. The meter would be visible to the player as there would be a graphic above the sniper's head, so that it won't be a surprise whenever he starts dealing more damage. Now the Rocket Blitz Soldier. This soldier bot would be able to rocket jump, which would be the first of its kind, and is possible to program as there is a video showcasing a mod that allows the bots to rocket jump. The Blitz Soldier would have the base jumper and the airstrike, which also would feature markers on the ground indicating where they are landing. Now the second bot, the Support Soldier. This bot would assist the other bots near it by whipping them with the disciplinary action, and would have the conch constantly applied so that the bots always deal many crits. So you should basically treat this bot as a medic one and try to get it out of the way early on. Now, this is a new type of robot I came up with myself, which is the mini tank. The mini tank would be half the HP of the normal tank's HP, and would come in pairs of 2 to 3 depending on the difficulty. The mini tank has a noticeable different decal, and unlike the other tank, features a way to defend itself with a turret similar to that of a level 1 sentry. The mini tank is used as a distraction from other robots, but has a reward for destroying it, being a quick cash boost to use for a faster respawn, buying canteens, or for normal upgrades. Another new type of robot could be Australian versions of any robot that currently exists, with every statistic for the bots being minorly boosted, like damage, shot, speed reload, and more, which they have no possibility for crits. These bots would be mixed in with each robot batch at about 1 to 2 on average out of the bunch. It would be an easy way to make the wave more interesting and visually pleasing. Let's now move on to 3 new maps that I've picked out that I would like to see in the MvM update. Before I do though, I would like to mention that I was unable to play MvM on these maps as the waves were unable to start and no servers were hosting these maps. So all of my impressions are based on a lookover of the map and how I feel like it would play out. The 3 maps I would like to quickly review are MvM Isolation, MvM High-Rise, and MvM Helix. First, let's talk about MvM Isolation. Isolation is a very well thought out and strategically laid out map, plated with pretty good visuals overall. Though, I would possibly add more cover to make it easier to defend the beginning area as there doesn't seem to be much there. Otherwise, it seems pretty balanced, and with those minor changes, I would love to see this map in the MvM update. Now, MvM High-Rise, a vertical-based MvM map, which reminds me a lot of Vertigo from CSGO. High-Rise has a lot of potential, but currently is a little bit small to be a MvM map, with there only being 3 floors barely, so I would add more to the map by adding more floors and possibly even make it a 2-point map, so whenever the bots take over enough floors, you lose that area of the map. Also, with the addition of new floors, I think there should be extending outward bits outside of the building to make it more interesting and make the gameplay a little bit more exciting. Now finally, the last map, MvM Helix. This map also has a lot of potential in terms of gameplay and looks, though there are too many spots where it could be annoying to play, being choke points, open areas, and small doorways. And there are just some areas that plain out have no purpose. So what I would do to the map is give those areas more of a reason to exist, and to fix the several evident choke points. Besides that, this seems like a good map to include as long as all these issues I've mentioned gets fixed. Now finally, the Australiums, the thing that makes 90% of the players play MvM. Some cool Australiums I have in mind is an Australium Direct Hit, Ubersaw, Revolver, Lock and Load, Market Gardener, and many more. Now this is pretty much all I have for a new MvM update, so let's now talk about what everyone's been waiting for, when I think it will roughly come out. So the last two Blink Update win videos I made, I talked about quality versus quantity, but for the sake of not repeating that argument, I would just urge you to go watch my last video on the subject. Rather, let's now talk about typical update times, which it used to be around 45 months on average, but it's been about 9 months now since Jungle Inferno came out, and Jungle Inferno took like a year to make, so instead of going by the average, I'm gonna assume that the team's new update schedule is a little bit slower. Now, something that might be more meaningful to talk about is prioritization, as the heavy update might currently be more of a priority to the TF team, as it was mentioned he would be getting one at some point, but not when. So if the heavy update were to come out before the MvM update, I think the MvM update would be released midsummer of next year or even later, as I don't think the heavy update should take as long to make as the PYRO one, since there isn't necessarily any things to fix about heavy, rather to change existing weapons and to add new ones. But it is possible the MvM update could be released before the heavy update, as when Jungle Inferno came out, there was a weapon found in the files that was from Iron Gauntlet. Now, this might not mean that the MvM update will come before the heavy update, as Valve have taken things from collections and just put them in game for completely other things before, but it's always a possibility. And if it were to come out before the heavy update, I think we could be able to see it out as soon as October through December later this year. Or if the heavy and MvM update are combined, which is, unlikely, we could be seeing it early 2019. Now, these timeframes are very rough, as the team's update times have drastically changed the last 2 years, and is based on the amount of content they would have to make, adjust, and polish, differing between each major update. It could very well come out sooner or later than any of the dates that I have now just suggested. Anyways, that's all I have to talk about MvM, so thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully it wasn't bad, as I made it literally within 6 days, but it's definitely better than waiting 2 months for a mediocre video. Anyways, if you guys liked the video, make sure to like it and subscribe for more TF2 related content. As always, stay fresh, my Freshies. Peace.